My name is Danielle, the manager of the Watson Branch Library, and welcome to another book talk with Livingston Parish Library. So this summer we're talking about all different kinds of new books coming out this summer for middle grade and young adult readers. So today we are going to talk about young adult mystery books. Okay, so this first book is probably one of my favorite YA mystery series ever. If you're a fan of Karen McManus's books and her One of Us is Lying series, this is definitely the series for you. So the first one has already come out like 2 years ago at this point, and the second one came out recently. So the second one is new, but I'm going to talk about the first one so you can read both of them. And this series is called A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder begins with a closed case. 5 years ago, Annie Bell was murdered and her body was never found, except everyone thinks her boyfriend, Sal Singe, killed her. He ended up committing suicide and writing a note that he was the one to do it. And the police know he did it, the town knows he did it, they've ostracized his family, everyone knows he did it. Except for our main character, Pippa, who isn't so sure. In this small town consumed by this murder, Pippa is the only one that believes that Sal Singe was innocent. She knew him and she cannot put the two together. So she decides for her senior year project that she is going to look into the murder and basically clear Sal Singe's name and let the whole town know that they have been wrong for 5 years and he did not do it. So as she's diving deeper into this mystery, it's clear that someone desperately does not want the secret to get out. And the more she starts to unravel the mystery with the help of Sal Singe's younger brother, Ravi, she starts to realize that there's way more to this story, as she believed, and there's probably a lot more people involved than originally thought. So the second book that just recently came out is called Good Girl, Bad Blood. And I'm not going to give too much away, but it centers around a podcast and all of the bridges that Pippa burned in the first book, or all of the bad blood that now happens in the town. This is such a good series. It has the very true crime feel. And the first book, she's writing her report, so it has some report style writing, and then the second one has podcast style writing, so it's really cool. It blends a lot of different elements, and it is so good. The mystery is so good. You may think you guess it, but what? Did you guess it? What is happening? It's great. You should read it. So I'm kind of breaking my rules a little bit with the new books, but it kind of works. So here's another one where we have a new book is being published this summer. However, this one is the fourth in the series. So the series has been around for a little while, but there is a new book in the series and I want to let everyone know about it. This series is for the true crime junkies, the people who love unsolved mysteries, who love older mysteries that has a lot of suspense, have a lot of mystery around it, and nobody knows what happens, and it's just this thing that's sitting there and you're like, it makes you obsessed and you're like, I need to figure out what's happening. This is the series for you, because the same thing happens to the main character in this series called Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. So Ellingham Academy is a prestigious boarding school in Vermont that only allows in the smartest, brightest inventors, thinkers, artists. It's very hard to get into. It was founded by Albert Ellingham, this eccentric rich dude who wanted to create a place where learning was a game. So think of Hogwarts, where there's twisty tunnels and sometimes things move, and going to school is this huge riddle that you have to solve in order to get to your classes. Shortly after the school was opened, Albert Ellingham's wife and daughter was kidnapped, and the only clue was a letter listing a bunch of different murder scenarios signed Truly Devious, and this has been the greatest unsolved mystery of American history. Our main character, Stevie Bell, is obsessed with true crime, like most of us probably, and she does everything she can to get into Ellingham Academy. And she makes it in. So her goal in being at the school is to solve the unsolved crime. as she's there trying to figure out her new school and, like, you know, trying to get to classes, she uncovers a lot of secrets, and there's a lot more happening at Ellingham Academy than she originally thought. And of course, Truly Devious makes a surprise return. So now Stevie has to solve two murders, one from the past and one in the present, and both tales will kind of intertwine in this first book of the Truly Devious series. So after the first book, there are 3 more books in the series so far. And there is more to the story, there is more mystery, there is more true crime, and it's fantastic if you love a good mystery, if you love true crime, and you love unsolved mysteries. So this next book is an actual new book that came out recently. I just cannot get over the title, the cover, the plot, the setting. I can't get over it. It's called The Forest of Stolen Girls by June Her. Our main character, Hawani's life has never been the same since her and her sister went missing, and they were later found in a forest next to a gruesome crime scene. The only thing that the sisters knew was that their captor wore a white painted mask. So after escaping the terrible memories, they flee their hometown and move somewhere else. So years later, Detective Min, who is Hawani's father, learns that there have been 13 girls who recently disappeared in the same area under similar circumstances. So he returns to their hometown to investigate, and then he vanishes as well. So Hawani is determined to find her father and solve the case that tore their family apart. So she returns to her hometown and reconnects with her sister. And as they're investigating the disappearance of the 13 girls, they realize that probably the answer to this mystery lies within their own memories that they've kind of shut out from what happened to them when they were children. So the plot sounds really interesting as it is, but what I didn't tell you is that this is actually a historical mystery because it is set in medieval Korea, or the 1400s in Korea. How cool is that? It just made it 10 times better. Now I gotta read it. So the last book for today is another brand new standalone mystery, and it centers around something that most of us have probably dealt with, well, to a certain extent. And we understand kind of like the stress behind it. College admissions. This last book is called The Ivies by Alexa Dawn. So everyone knows the Ivy League colleges, the most prestigious universities in the United States. It's really hard to get into. People have committed crimes to get into Ivy League colleges. But what's far more illustrious and far more exclusive is the Ivies of Claflin Academy. It is a group of 5 girls who will do anything to get into the Ivy Leagues by any means possible. And our main character would know because she's one of them. See, what they do is they disrupt class ranks, they mess up club leaderships and academic competitions, and they basically create better odds for themselves by decreasing the fortunes of others. And why not? Because super elite college admissions is serious business. In some cases, it's deadly. So now the Ivies, who will stop at nothing to get into college and get what they want, should have probably known that murder is not an extracurricular activity. I am a sucker for boarding school books. That's the best setting, especially for a YA mystery thriller, murder mystery type thing. That's the best setting you can get. So this one is a super whammy of awesomeness. So I just found out that thrillers and murder mysteries set in boarding schools and these academic type settings is generally referred to as dark academia. So, okay, I am here for that. Sign me up for the dark academics, please. That concludes our YA mystery books coming out this summer. There's probably a lot more coming out. These were just the ones that I wanted to highlight today, and ones that have been kind of like hyped and been very popular. So I want to get the word out on those. So keep looking forward to more book talks coming out this summer. We're going through a lot of middle grade and YA genres that are coming out. And until next time, happy reading.